Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Mr. DM, Mr. Bear himself.
Hello, Mr. Raccoon. Hello.
Welcome back to Dumpster Delvers. We've been gone for a week. Big sorry about that. Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day, that's what it was.
It was Valentine's Day, and then Saturday I was just so, like, zapped for some reason. I was like, you know what? We're gonna wait. we're gonna wait until next week. And then you got sick this week.
That's right.
Which is fucking rough. Is absolutely rough.
I think what happened is one of the roommates went out to shovel snow and then didn't wear enough clothes, got sick, and then spread it through the house.
I've had this argument before, or this debate before, with Masay. Because we'll be walking around cold, and I'll be like, I don't want to be in the cold too long. I don't want to get sick. And she's like, you can't get sick from the cold environment. And I'm like, I feel like that's not correct. So, and to the point where I had to actually research it, and apparently, what it does is that it hits your immune system. So it doesn't necessarily make you sick. It just rattles your immune system so that you're more likely to get sick.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I was like, oh, okay. So but still at the same time, I won't be in the cold for too long, especially recovering from flu.
I was about to say, you sound like you got the con crud still. Yeah. Like that's still like lingering.
No, it's good. So right now what's happening is my head's fine. My body doesn't ache. I'm not sick. I just have that lingering cough. You know what I mean?
That annoying ass cough.
I just have that annoying ass motherfucking cough. So that is kind of what I'm currently dealing with. So if I talk a lot, I'll get a little more. My throat will get a little agitated. Also, like, it's doing a weird like saliva, like sort of like, accumulation. I have to constantly be like, clear my throat. And I know for a fact that people just love hearing that over the mic. They've told it to me personally in comment sections where they're like, God, I love Brett's mouth sounds. And I'm like, I don't. I think, yeah. So like,
are you sure they're not referring to you making your monster noises?
No. So one person, I kind of was adjusting with the noise gate because of this. One person gave me like a fucking essay. I think I posted over on social media, and essentially saying they were tired of hearing me breathing on the mic. It's like I'll be talking and like I'll take like a breath halfway through or something. And I'm just like, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, what do you want me? How can I? And so I adjust the noise gate so that hopefully my breath doesn't come across as much. But it was like this person was like fucking losing it. And I'm like, throw my hands up, like, okay, I'm sorry.
That's really weird.
I apologize for breathing. I should stop doing that.
Dear God, what an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, it's the internet. Who cares at this point? You know, people are gonna be. It's not that they're an asshole. It's just that they're choosing.
What if there was a word that we could use that could describe a person who gives you their unsolicited advice or complaints or critiques?
I mean, that's just
rub my chin.
Yeah, that's just content creation, man. Like, you just have to. I know coming from me, that's ridiculous, but you just kind of have to get to a point of acceptance where like some random person is gonna be like, you fucking ruined my day because of this thing, this stupid random thing that at the end of the day isn't really a big deal, but ruined my day. And that's why I was like, man, if this is your problem, right? If this is the shit that you are currently dealing with, like this is the thing that is you've decided is going to ruin your day, your life is pretty good.
I was about to say, I think I'm too small of a creator to have people in my comments or in my chat being like, I hate the way you breathe.
I mean, it doesn't happen that often. It happens to the point where I see it and I just go, holy shit, that's unhinged. You know what I mean?
Go touch grass. What's wrong with you?
So it's what I crack up about it. I'll post on social media. I'll be like, look at this guy. I mean, I'll mute the name out because I think a lot of the times people don't even realize that like their words have an appropriate response. You know what I mean? Like it's, and I've talked about this before where like you'll see someone say something rude and unhinged. You'll step in and be like, hey now. And they'll be like, holy shit, like, you, I didn't realize you were actually gonna read this. It's like, bitch, why did you say it?
Oh no, the consequences of my actions. Exactly. What do you mean?
Exactly. Sorry, I'm grabbing a water. It's now my throat is acting up in the middle of the podcast, which is my favorite. My absolute favorite. So I did want to start the cast today with something that kind of annoyed me a little bit. What's new? Brett annoyed over something. Jeez, what's new with this little piece of trash?
Huh?
I don't know. I bicker and complain a lot, and so it's something that I
just old man yells at clouds. What's wrong with that?
I know, but I get a little self-conscious because I'm usually afraid that people are gonna be like, God, can he just stop fucking complaining all the time? Jesus fucking.
Literally my job to talk.
I know. I especially now that I get older, there are literally times where I look at everything and I go, God, I'm just angry at fucking everything in my life right now.
I mean, there's wisdom in being able to recognize that. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to look at it and be like, oh, I'm just kind of upset at everything, and then taking a step back.
I am. There's a lot of things I'm currently just really upset about. You know, it's our country and how people treat each other. Fucking hey, like here's the bad thing. I didn't think we were gonna get into politics talk today, but I guess we are because I just realized there were like a couple of things that happened on Twitter, posted from the fucking White House account that made me go, this is who we are. This is the country we are right now. You know?
Oh, wasn't there another celebrity who did a Nazi salute or whatever?
I mean, it was the fucking Breitbart guy. That doesn't fucking surprise me. What's his name? Steve Bannon. I saw him do a little Nazi salute. Right now, Musk is trying to get the... Oh my God, what is the German party? I literally was not prepared for this. Hold on, I'm looking it up. I'm scrambling.
Yeah, we beforehand, chat, we were talking about video games.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a fun game.
Talking about World of Warcraft.
We're gonna do some D&D and TTRPG horror stories because I thought that would be something we can all talk about and be interesting and relate to and all that shit. And then now I'm just thinking to myself like, holy fuck, you know? So let me see. I'm seeing if I can find this. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh my God, it's worse than I thought. So there's
that's good.
Yeah, so February 18th, the White House posts ASMR illegal alien deportation flight, where they're literally locking someone up with chains to deport them out of the country before they shove them on a plane.
That came from the
White House account. Literal White House account. The fucking the gray government check mark, all that shit. And I'm just sitting here just being like, this is embarrassing. This is awful. Yeah. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. It's terrible. It's terrible how we treat our fellow human being. It's astounding to me, especially in a nation of self-proclaimed Christians. Man, we've got a lot of hate. We got a lot of hate. We'd like to just give, instill and give to people. So that's
just
why
slap onto somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I always tell people, look, be kind. It's that simple. Be kind. Be kind.
Now,
to
we
people.
talked about it last time.
Yeah.
The Venezuelan executive order that basically denied a bunch of people the ability to stay within the country, even though they were working to getting their green card.
Yeah.
Was fucked because there hasn't been a resolution on that, by the way. My roommate we're still waiting for like the day that ICE shows up, more or less.
Yeah, it's they're gonna show up to your house, you think?
Well, my hope is that they're not going to waste the money and that they'll just send a. Well, here's the issue: if they send him a letter, he has to show up. There's all the talk about doing whatever's necessary to keep him in the country, but there does come a point where if he's summoned by a court, he does have to show up. And I think that's basically what we're waiting on, is we're waiting to see if he gets a summon or not, or hopefully some Supreme Court justice or some court judge
like a justice in the justice department.
Basically blocks it.
Yeah, we'll
fingers fucking crossed.
Yeah, we'll have to fucking see. We'll have to see what happens to that. Yeah, we're gonna be in a weird time. Like right now, where it is, like ultimately at the end, like it doesn't look good. But at the same time, I don't think we're in a constitution crisis, as everyone's been throwing around like, oh, we're risking constitution crisis. And I'm like, I don't think we're there yet. I do think we're in a constitution test. You know what I mean? Like we are definitely like this. These next 4 years are going to test our nation. It's going to test the Constitution. Because at the end of the day, we always say America is this grand experiment. You know what I mean? It's the big experiment. So like, this shit could end at any time. But I do feel like these next 4 years is going to be the test, the constitutional test.
One of the big things that's touted a lot is the how long empires last thing. That's a big one that I see basically anywhere I go. I always see the empires last like 250 years or some bullshit like that.
Wow.
And then people go about like how long America's been around and stuff.
I'd like to believe that if it all came crumbling down because of this term, in the middle of this term, right, then we were already pretty fragile to begin with.
I was about to say, I would be fucking floored.
Yes. There definitely is going to need to be a little bit of okay, let's rewind. Let's go ahead and rewind that a little bit. Oh boy, that was awkward. And we're gonna have to, come to countries back to the table and be like, hey guys, America's back. Like, hey, I don't know who the fuck that guy was, but we're back. We're signing our name on everything, and then everyone will be really, I'm hoping, thankful. Right now, I feel like America has always been in this like position where like everyone's like, well, we need America here, but also, God, I hate that guy.
Yeah, that is sort of our current state of affairs. Like
that has always been our state of affairs. Like people are like, we're glad you're here. God, you're a fucking tool. But yeah, we're great. We're great. We're glad you're here.
Because we'll step out of something and then another superpower will step in, like China stepping in to take over funding and shit like that. That's basically our constant state of affair is we'll pull out, then we'll do some shit for a year, however long, and then we'll come back next term, and then we take back the throne.
Yeah, I was actually, Messiah and I were at dinner, and we were talking because we're just pulling out everything, we're pulling everything out. We're going back into the country. We're isolating ourselves. And I'm like, if you had any, like they're saying America first. And I get that. And you're like, oh, why are we spending our tax dollars here? You should be back at home, blah, blah, blah. Like on paper, that sounds great. But the thing is, it's very short-sighted. And if you were to go into this direction of, well, what is in America's best interest? Because that to me is America first. Is like, so, what benefits us, and us backing out and isolating ourselves. Sounds great for the very, very, very short term. But when these superpowers come in and fill the absences, we're going to be way worse off because of that. Because then, now we're isolating ourselves. But now, go on.
Here's my shtick.
Please.
We unfortunately need to be the world sugar daddy is the thing. We need to basically fund these other programs in these other places because that is what keeps us in our sort of like ruling empire state.
It keeps us
as
a superpower.
Fuck as that is.
It sounds, and I'm right there with you. It feels bad to say it. It also feels really bad because at the end of the day, whenever we're like, well, why are we doing all this stuff? How does it benefit us? I'm like, it maintains our presence on the world stage. That's what it does.
It keeps us in the loop everywhere, basically.
And it's a scummy thing to say. You're like, oh, you're just providing all this aid so that you can maintain your presence. So the American
dollar stays super high. Yes.
And you shrug and you go, yeah, unfortunately, there's only so, and that's also part of the reason why, we're maintaining our presence. And like anywhere in history, you see, whenever we're always like fucking like, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my god, I totally forgot the word. We're always okay. I'll say it a different way. We always got our hand in the cookie jar.
100%. The issue is that we've been slipping from our spot for decades and decades and decades.
Yes.
We're like now if we pull out of everything, we're basically plummeting behind.
Yes.
Like the only thing that's really kept us up there is having our hands in a billion cookie jars across the world.
Yeah.
Because we're fucking everywhere. But in terms of like being an actual superpower, like our defense is amazing. Like having a cajillion super carriers is awesome.
Shit. Look at how the budget breaks down and how much military takes out. It's insane.
That's basically it though. That's basically the only thing is that we pump $1 trillion into our defense budget and then we let infrastructure, education and all that shit slip.
Just fall apart.
Because we're like, well, you can't fuck with us at least because we have every gun in the world.
Yeah.
But also our people ain't that smart.
Yeah,
so
America's, which is such a terrifying fucking concept if we really think about it that way. They're like, America's number one on our military, where everything else is just kind of falling apart. And
don't look at our dumbest state. Please don't do that and compare it to anywhere else.
It's so, and that just breaks my. That just breaks my fucking heart because it's just, and I've even said this before, where my tinfoil hat theory is if the citizens are uneducated, the people will always try and take advantage and get away with the shit because people don't know better.
Correct.
And that fucking sucks if that's the strategy. You know what I mean? If that's the strat, or we're just like, well, if we have smart people, we're not going to be in power. Like, that just sucks. So bad.
Really fucking. My favorite was learning what like gerrymandering was for the first time, and I was like, "There's no way this is legal.
Yeah.
There's no way this is fucking legal.
It's bad. It's bad."
How did you make this up? Like,
you've got gerrymandering, you've got voter suppression laws, you've got everything in the book where you're just looking. And I'm like, hey, we're gonna do something about no, we're not gonna do anything about. All right, I guess we'll just watch this circle down the drain then. Fuck, man. God
What's
damn
the other
it.
one? What's the is it like filibustering where like somebody just sits in a room to basically delay a bill getting passed?
Lord of the Rings for
some
18
fucking
hours.
Piece of shit let that happen. I'm like, there's no fucking way that's real.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's like it's been happening for as long as you've been alive, and then some. I'm like, how the fuck do we operate?
Yeah, the filibuster. Yeah,
how is it like just high school, but we pay these shitheads to go on recess for 6 fucking months out of the year?
I shrug. I fucking shrug. There was there's so many things that passed over the past 20, 30 years. I want to say, my big thing is like, there needs to be donation limits to politicians.
Dude, they shouldn't get shit.
Yeah.
They should not get fucking. You want to know what they should get? They should get a house that they get to stay in, and a car.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't get a paycheck. You don't get fucking anything. All your electricity, all that shit's provided for by the government. That's it. You don't get a bank account. You don't get to invest in anything. At the age of 65, you have to take a fucking test.
Holy shit, dude. There was this list of because politicians like Congress and senators have to I believe once a year show how much where all their money's at, essentially. Like they have to literally present to everyone like, okay, this is the money I'm making, this is all the shit I'm doing, blah blah blah. And there's usually some fuckery with that, so the numbers look a little lower. Someone compiled all of that and had it so that it updates specifically with where their investments are and where it is and all this stuff. And good God, like some of the senators and all that, like you're like, okay, that's fine. You know, a lot of senators think they have $1 million, and that's fine. That's fine to me. You know, the senators and congressmen that have like 30K to their name, I'm like, bravo, you're here to serve. But dude, there are some disgusting fucking numbers.
What was it like? It's fucking like Nancy Pelosi or some shit like that had a shit ton of money. I'm like, you should have everybody who's there in that fucking job, in that position of authority. You should have nothing.
Yeah. I'm down for the salary. I think the salary's fine. I personally think that people, God, there's so many. I have to look all this up because I don't want to spread misinformation. There was something that passed where like congressmen and senators couldn't live in DC or something like that. Like so essentially they're always like having to fly back and forth. Like they couldn't actually have residence in DC. God, what was it? Can congressmen live in DC? I have to look all this shit up because again, like there's just,
I assume it's for their safety, like they don't want them all in one place, I assume.
But that means they're also sleeping in their offices because they don't have residencies. You know, like just shit like that.
Fucking I squint and
yeah.
Whip out the cot, pull yourself up by your fucking bootstraps.
Yeah, and that's where it's just like it's a little wet. Yeah, I'll have to look up all these statistics. I don't want to give out misinformation. But yeah, it was like fucking Rick Scott is like number one on, you know, how much money does Rick Scott have? Yeah, there it is. Open secrets. Yeah, Rick Scott's net worth currently is $259 million as of 218, and that personally is too much fucking money.
Correct.
For anyone in our government to have. Like,
who gave it to you, shithead? Who gave you all that fucking money? Who tipped you off?
It's the top assets. This is the 2018 in Open Secrets. 17 million in G. Scott Capital Partners. 16 million in Columbia Collier Management. It's just insane. And yeah. And I also feel the same way about Nancy Pelosi. You know, if people want to go ahead and call me, you know, they're like, you fucking liberal. Why don't you? Yeah, happy. In 2018, Nancy Pelosi had $114 billion. That's too much money.
Hell fucking no.
That's so much money. That is too much money for a politician.
I know you do insider trading, you piece of shit.
That's too much money. That makes me feel a little weird. I'm not gonna lie.
It makes me feel angry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
do your fucking job.
Yeah,
stop going on recess for 6 fucking months out of the year. Do your job.
So needless to say, I'm grumpy. It's the short.
Always gets me so fucking heated. I know. It's not even that politics are like, because I can talk with people who have differing views on all that shit. What I hate is the fucking government.
It's a little. You have a hard time trusting your government, and at the end of the day, you are also at this point where you're like, I have to choose the lesser between the two evils. Is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna choose the side that's gonna,
there is no lesser evil.
A little bit of humanity. Yeah, it's just I feel like
I watched the DNC fucking rip Bernie Sanders out by his legs.
Oh my god! Yeah,
every
that
fucking
was the
time,
worst.
And I'm like, there's no fucking way, dog. There's no fucking way.
Because Democrats have super delegates, which is insane to me. It's bullshit. I'm looking at it because let me look at the numbers. How many delegates and super delegates do the Democrats have? Super delegates essentially are follow the party's command, where they're like, yeah, vote for this person. There's so many super delegates, and to the point where I'm like, why do we even have delegates if we're gonna have this stupid super delegate thing?
Correct.
It's just where you're like, yeah, do not get Bernie Sanders. We gotta get Hillary. We gotta get Hillary in here. And I'm like, what are you doing? Stop it. Stop. Can I just please let me put the person in that I would like to represent me, please. I mean, that's why I've never affiliated myself with a party. Even in the beginning,
it's hard to, man. It's fucking hard to.
I mean, when I registered to vote, they said, okay, you could be Republican, Democrat, anything else. A Momo screaming in the background.
That's my other roommate.
Yeah, you could be an independent, or you could be no party affiliated. And I'm like, why would I ever register myself with a party? Because I even was like, there are going to be times where one party, I'm going to be like, yeah, I believe in that. And then there are going to be other times where I look at another party and be like, yeah, okay, I also believe that.
That's literally how I am. I'm like, that's good. And I go, oh, maybe you're not so good on this thing, but that thing over there, they're doing that one. I like that one.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I feel like the party changes every 10 years into something else,
correct
new
it
amorphic
into
form.
Something new.
Yeah, I mean, shit, this was not the Republican Party of 2000s,
Correct.
I remember this was the Republican Party of the 80s. None of that shit, I
remember watching the Obama and Rodney fucking debates, and it's like a completely wild, different world. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching that election, when he was up for his second term or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's when I was just getting into politics as a high schooler, had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that I lived around were Republicans.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay, and I start listening and I start paying attention. I'm like, okay, I agree with what they're saying. I agree with what they're saying.
Yeah.
And now. Now it's like me and my friends were like, where the fuck do we belong?
Yeah. For right now, I think the frustrating part for me is I see the MAGA party, because that's essentially what it is at this point. I look at that and I'm going, ugh, gross, disgusting, no humanity whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't want no fucking God King Trump or whatever they're touting.
I don't believe in that.
I don't want that.
And then I look at the Democratic Party. I'm like, hey guys, what are we doing about this? And someone's got
we're insider trading now, and I'm like, what? Yeah, Jesus Christ!
One of them's picking their nose, and they're just kind of yawning. Another one's like, and then
I'm 900 years old.
Huh? What? Looks over, we should be doing something. I'm like, yes! What the fuck? Do something about this.
Yeah, I look at both and I go, what do I do?
Yeah. That's where I'm at too. That's honestly where I'm at too. Where I'm like, I thought we were, because during the election, it very much was this big argument of we got to fight like hell because we're about to go into a totalitarianism. We're going, our country's, if he gets elected, it's all over. We're like, fuck, that's serious, And then he gets elected. I'm like, damn. well, we got Caesar Trump. What are we doing now? And they're like, oh, we're biding our time. I'm like, what does that mean?
Yeah, we said that to rile you up.
Yeah.
And I went,
congratulations.
But you didn't do anything with the people you riled up, dumbass.
Yeah, I'm like, congratulations. I'm riled up. So what are we doing about it? Everyone's like, well, wait, we'll see what happens in 2 years. Like, ah! So that's. I've thrown it all in the air. I throw it all in the air. I complain. I go whatever, and I just throw it all in the air. And it is. It's just, and that's again. Reason why I'm not party affiliated is because the party fucking changes form every 10 to 20 years, and I don't know what it's going to transform into. If it's correct, what it's going to be, because like you know, Republican values were like, you know, hey, you're on your own. Government's not gonna interfere with your shit. Government's just the foundation. You just do you. We're just here to keep everything going. We're gonna stay out of your shit. And I'm like, honestly, like, okay, like I can vibe with that. And you know, Democrats are like, we've got all these programs that are going to help people and do all these things, but it's going to be very expensive and it's funding.
Isn't that libertarian now? Libertarians like no government involvement.
I guess so. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day,
it all fucking sucks.
That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I don't know. But even then, I'm like, yeah, I'm a big person of like, help your fellow man. That is how I was raised. Those are the actual Christian values, where it's like, yeah, help one another. You're not here and you're not alone in this shit. You help one another. Don't judge people. Don't do this shit. Everyone's a fucking hypocrite. That's where it is. So, which is why I run and play D&D. That's why I write D&D books. It's why I am happy to provide distraction, because man, we're gonna fucking need it here in a little bit. So, but we'll see. Again, we'll see what happens. This is the grand experiment right now. You know, not to be an alarmist, but I definitely am sort of at this point where I'm like, okay, like I feel like we're constantly struggling between this thing where we're like, okay, when am I overreacting? And when should I act? You know what I mean? That is a tough line, because I'm being riled up by our media to essentially, they're shaking me wild, you know, and they're just going, that's not fucking it, you gotta do something. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm just a fucking
I hate it so fucking I hate so much looking at news and they're like, it's the end times. The end times are among us. I'm like, no, it's fucking not. No, it's not, because I know your ass is gonna go fly in your private jet and go invest in some fucking cryptocurrency and get a cajillion dollars. If the world was ending, dipshit, you'd be doing more.
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at. And so it is where you're just like, when should I act? And when should I, you know, calm down and not over? And so right now I'm trying to calm down and just be like, I need to know exactly when I should be like, all right, I gotta get out. I gotta get the fuck out of here, because I don't know what's about to happen now. You know, like there has to be a line in the sand, right? There has to be a line in the sand. We're like, well, what do we do? Right? I'm like, right now we're just waiting. We're just waiting to see what the fuck happens after all this. Hope to God some national tragedy doesn't happen. Hope to God we don't have another pandemic, you know, and just wait and see, which fucking sucks. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, I don't know what else you could do. I think I decided my line in the sand is if Trump runs for a third term and somehow is able to do it.
Oh, yeah, because there was that talk of like removing the term limit.
There's so much talk right now, and I'm just like, and to me, I'm going, no, not gonna happen. There's no way it's gonna happen, because it's in the fucking Constitution. And yeah, you can amend the Constitution, but that shit's really fucking hard to do, which means either everyone needs to be on fucking board, which they're not, or there is corruption at the highest level that has succeeded to allow that to happen. So, in my mind, if it gets to a point where Trump can run for a third term, that is when I'm like, we're gonna go someplace else for a little bit. We're just, you know, I would love to come back, but we're definitely gonna go someplace else. I don't know where yet. Now I'm looking around. I'm just in case. I don't think it's gonna happen. And yeah, he'll probably try. He'll say all this shit. He already said, you know, hail to the king, baby, and all that shit. And I think, oh my god, I think the White House even fucking posted the King Trump photo. Yeah, that was also the thing the White House did, where they posted a picture of Time magazine with an AI picture of King Trump. And I'm all, again, this is shit I'm looking at going, what are we doing? Oh my fucking god. So, he's gonna say a bunch of unhinged shit. He's gonna try a bunch of unhinged shit, and it'll be up to our judicial system and the Constitution and everything like that to essentially go, you can't do that. And that's fine. He could say, and whatever he says and does, it's not a fucking surprise to me anymore. That's the key thing. The fact that he's saying and doing it, is it worrying? Of course it is. But you gotta
remember, that's like his big thing. Yeah. Like Trump's big thing is that he can just say whatever the fuck he wants. Like that's he's like, I don't care about like what like my big thing is I'm gonna get a reaction out of people by literally just saying whatever the fuck I want to say. Yeah. And it works. Yeah. Him saying, I do whatever the fuck I want to do. And people go, my God,
he does whatever the fuck he wants to do.
Holy shit.
And then a judge comes out of nowhere. He's like, no, you don't. Like, I mean, that's
correct.
That is what's happening right now. And I think right now, it should be something to address and look at. And I'm not saying this to try and like temper the flames or make it not as big of a deal than it actually is. But it's more of like okay, stop for a moment. Take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. Like every time he does something, and every time someone goes, it's fucking bad, man. I go, this is the same. Like he's done this. This has already fucking happened. We got through the 4 years. We did that. He's back. Yeah, we're gonna see a bit more of an extreme version of this because this should, knock on wood, be the last time we got to deal with him, right? But at the end of the day, this is him. He is I can do whatever I want, get away with whatever I want. And I will say that, but what he says and what is reality are two different things. Now, is he doing things that are alarming? Abso-fucking-lutely. Is it alarming that it's within the Constitution he's able to do it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Like, all of that, yeah. But as far as like the big, like, you know, he becomes a king or he runs for a third term or things that actually break the Constitution, because when people say constitutional crisis, what they mean is let's test this and see if it's gonna break through and the Constitution fails because of it. That's in my mind what a constitutional crisis means.
I can tell you right fucking now, that dude is out in Mar-a-Lago or wherever golfing, and somebody comes up and says, Mr. President, your corporate business partner wants to know if they can, just take a couple $1 billion, and he goes, just give them whatever they want, and then he goes back to golfing.
Of course,
like that's been that's what he did the last 4 years, and that's what he's gonna do this 4 years. Okay, so get ready for whatever fucking wild shit is gonna happen. Because he just says, yeah, do it.
Yeah, Elon Musk has gotten a bunch of new government contracts and has fucking shut down. Or trying to shut down agencies that are keeping him in check. Like it's personal interest is fucking wild. But as we have just seen from the people that run the country, no matter what side you're on, there are people that are going to be doing that anyway. So like at the end of the day, and like that's it. That's all there is to it. Like our government, is there corruption in government? There's always going to be corruption in government. And unless we're going to tear the whole thing down and start again with something else, I don't know. But I also believe that the only way things are going to be shaken up in our country is when there is like a god emperor that literally like strips it all down and goes, all right, I'm going to go and fix it the way I want to fix it. And then that's going to be changed. And we're going to be like, oh, fuck, that's crazy. And then it's going to be taken back. And we're like, all right. What have we learned from this terrible fucking event in our history so that it never happens again? And then, yeah, so I mean, it's ultimately at the end of the day, I shrug. I know who I voted for. and a majority of other people voted the other way. And I'm like, all right, let's do it your way. Let's see what the fuck happens, eh? Yeah, let's see it go. That is how this democracy is supposed to work. And yeah.
Listen, I can tell you right now, the only people who are winning
is the people of the government.
No, the only people that are winning right now is usually what happens is if you're in the military, your paycheck gets a little bit bigger if it's a Republican president.
Yeah.
And it gets a little bit smaller if it's a Democrat president. Or a Democrat. That's it. Like if when I served during what is considered peacetime under the Obama administration, we were seeing a lot of like cutting to funding and stuff like that, which meant like a lot of classes that were available were no longer available.
Well, like, we're now hearing that Trump wants military spending to be cut as well. Like everything's being cut.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like
who's going to give them money to? I wonder.
Yeah, the Department of Justice or whoever's in the Department of Justice now was asked to like, hey, see what we can cut. See what we can shrink down. Yeah, nothing's safe.
I do know they want to cut more on veteran benefits as well. That was a letter that I got recently.
Really?
A letter I got recently was from a local veteran program that was like, hey, by the way, they want to start cutting the amount that you get from your VA. Jesus. So we're creating this program to basically give you some modicum of assurance in case that happens.
That's insane.
Like we're going to offer a bunch of programs to basically help out veterans.
We should be giving everything to our veterans. Everything.
Agreed.
That is my belief. That if someone was willing to fight for our country, was willing to die for our country, especially during wartime, like they should come back and we should be putting our military spending, a good chunk of it, to our veterans. Because Jesus fucking Christ, there's nothing more hypocritical than, especially during with 9/11 and Iraq and things like that. Oh my God. Pride for our military was at an all-time high.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Like, there was an insane amount of patriotism, but then you look at what happens afterwards, and it's all of those, brave men and women that come back. And they're basically tossed to the fucking street.
It's disgusting.
Fend for yourself, idiots.
And I'm just like, that is...
It's like, hey, assholes, you fucking sent us there. Terrible. Nobody asked us to fucking go across the ocean and go handle a problem that wasn't our fucking problem, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's this everything how we run this country is hypocrisy one after another. And then
it's wild because you look at the fucking Gulf War.
Yeah.
Gulf War, boom, handled, settled.
Yeah.
We went in with a fucking plan. Then we're like, what if we try and fix an entire fucking nation? And it's like, hey, we can't do that. That's not us,
also,
dog.
Yeah,
like
that's not our job.
We don't do that.
That's not our job.
And they go, we're gonna do that. And then 20 years of thousands of young people dying.
Yep. They were like, what if we fix this nation? Oh my God, is there oil here? Holy shit. Hold on a second. I mean, I might as well help myself.
We're looking for bombs, and we're looking to fix this regime that's here. That's like, no, that's not. We don't do that. That never goes well. We don't do that.
Yeah, it's insane. It's wait, hold on. There was a story. Oh, this might be an urban legend. I don't know. I remember one time there was, like, during the Iraq War and everything like that, there was I don't know if this is true or not. They found like a bunch of PlayStation 2s that was said was going to be used to build like a fucking Saddam Hussein supercomputer. Like,
what the fuck?
I heard about this back in the fucking day and was like, huh? Like, I don't know if it was actually, because I'm looking it up right now, and I'm hearing it's a myth, but I specifically remember hearing like, yeah, Saddam Hussein's got like thousands of PlayStation 2s that he's gonna use to build a supercomputer. It was, yeah. In 2000, it was reported by numerous news media outlets, because I remember this article, This is from Gaming Urban Legends, by the way.
What the fuck?
In 2000, it was reported by numerous news media outlets, primarily well-known far-right news. Oh, Jesus. That Saddam Hussein, then president of Iraq, has secretly been stockpiling approximately 4,000 PlayStation 2 consoles. According to the rumors, Hussein and his military plan to somehow combine the consoles into a crude supercomputer capable of advanced military applications. The exact method by which the goal would have been achieved was never detailed by proponents of this conspiracy theory. As to be expected, the story turned out to be... I remember hearing this story on like the fucking radio, and I was like, no fucking way, that's insane. But apparently, absolutely. The Iraqi supercomputer legend is an urban legend revolving around the PlayStation 2.
That's
amazing. Amazing. Fucking gamer talk. I mean, dude, I was raised with congressmen or senators who were trying to essentially get rid of video games. You know, like that was the 90s.
Yeah.
With like Mortal Kombat and shit like that, and how violent video games were. And it's just like, holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. Anyways, so I loved how we were gonna be like, you know what? Like, I wasn't making an effort of it. We were like, yeah, you know, there's really nothing political to talk about today, so we're just gonna do games and some D&D stories and have a good time. I checked the timer. It's been 50 minutes almost of fucking talking about. That's right, Bobo. It's fucking hilarious.
No, it's not Momo.
That was not Momo. I just assume it's Momo when I hear loud laughing. So my bad. It's another room. Hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and write this time down. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our podcast is sponsored by the fine folks at our Patreon, patreon.com/dumpsterdelvers. We release MP3s of all of our podcast episodes with no music in the background, and also removal of all of these ad reads that we do. Clean up the audio. We also, it's not Discord audio on Crown side. It's both of our audios adjusted and balanced and everything like that. So high quality things. We also have other tiers if you'd like to be generous to give more, including an after show that Crown and I do, just kind of talking about the show after the fact. And hopefully we're going to be playing a game together soon that we'll be putting up on our top tier. We were talking about the new RL Craft that apparently came out like last year that has way more fucking mods by the same creator and everything. So that might be
they made their own world basically.
Oh yeah. So that's something I'm hoping we're gonna check out soon. So make sure you guys support the Patreon over at patreon.com/dumpsterdelvers. Also, we do have a YouTube channel where Dumpster Delvers lives. I see we have members of our YouTube chat. Hello, YouTube chat. Called youtube.com/@dumpsterdelvers. There's an @ now with new channels. I don't freaking know, but yeah, make sure you guys hit the subscription there. We're approaching 300 subscribers, which is great. We're trying to get our views and hours up so that way we can apply for monetization on that channel. So yeah, your assistance would be greatly appreciated. So yeah, link doesn't here. Let me go and do that. So with that, yeah, it should be youtube.com/@dumpsterdelvers. It is this one and this one. Okay, give me 1 second. 55, 45. Okay, so what I wanted to bring up to you today is something that happened literally today. I was thinking to myself, I was kind of having the itch to play World of Warcraft Season Discovery again, because I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed what they were doing with like the rune system and all the new like extra content in the classic world that they were adding. Recently, they added the Crypts of Naxxramas, or not Naxxramas, Karazhan Crypts, which was an unreleased dungeon that they released for Season of Discovery. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool. And it's a dungeon. It's a level 60 dungeon. They're doing Naxxramas now, and I'm like, okay, that's pretty fucking sick. I was like, I'm down to give that a go. I'm down to try that out. I want to play with Visay. I was thinking, ooh, you know what I want to do? I want to do Rogue Tank. I want to see what the Rogue Tank spec is all about, because that sounds so much fun. And I'm reading this a high DPS tank, you know, except the only downside is if you're stunned, you're fucked, because you have to you're an evasion tank, essentially. So if you get stunned, you're dead. So I'm like, okay, that's an interesting style. I'll be down to try it. So this morning, Say and I log in, we make our characters. I decided I don't like the Night Elf starting area, but you know what? I'll do Night Elf. They get a dodge bonus. It makes me more tanky. I'm down. And we're starting leveling. We get to level 2, easy peasy. We run back to the starting area, to the actual starting point, and I see this NPC figure with a blue outline and transparency. And they have a title called like the Rune Keeper. And I right click on it, and it's a shop. I go, okay.
Oh,
and
I bet.
And I click the shop. They give me a warning that go, hey, any of these runes that you purchase may break rune quest lines or a rune to get these runes. So just be aware if you're buying these runes. And I went, huh? And I look at the shop. It is every fucking rune of your class.
Yep.
For 1 copper piece a rune.
A copper piece?
Yes. And I just was staring at it and going, okay, so now I have to make a choice. Do I ignore that this thing exists and still collect runes as normal? Or do I fucking go, this is the more effective way. Let me just buy all these runes. So I bought all the runes. I didn't like it. I used all of them. I just kind of looked at it, and it's all the runes. Every fucking one. And at the end, you get like 35 out of 32 runes, and 32 be the max. And I'm just kind of looking at it, and I'm like...
Lame.
And so we play a little bit more, and then I just kind of stop and go, I think I'm done. Like, and I get it, like we're approaching like the last phase, and I know it's a catch-up mechanic, but also like, it just blew all the steam out, because I'm like, I remember when you and I were playing.
Correct.
We did the Warlock quest. It was a whole fucking thing, and we were trying to get like the sleeping bag. We were playing for like 5-6 hours or something like that, and it was a long adventure, but I loved it because I was like, this is like old school MMOs where like we had a mission, we set out to fucking do it. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort, but we did it. And then once I got it, we were like, hell yeah, and you felt good about it. And now I'm looking at the shop that literally is just, yeah, it's just whatever, just okay. 34, you got 34 copper. Here's all the runes. Enjoy. Hands off. And I'm just like...
No sense. Makes no sense.
Well, I mean, it's the end. And so the reason why they did that was because people aren't really playing Season of Discovery anymore. Because they're constantly competing themselves with new expansions and hardcore and all that shit.
Deprive the fucking... Like, I can't tell you the amount of people I met doing the Divine Storm quest as a paladin. That was so much fun.
Yeah, but
why would you deny people that?
It's because it's not about the rune quest anymore. It's about the end level 60. They want to get you to level 60 so you can do all the end shit. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, yeah, but I could just go to a regular WoW Classic server to fucking do that shit, you know, like. And Correct. The Karazhan Crypts is pretty neat. I would love to check that out at some point in time. I don't know if it's any good or not, but yeah, seeing those runes just there, I was just like, I'm fucking not interested. And it was, I felt so bad because I was excited to play a game with Mistay, and I went, I'm not into this right now. I don't want to play this. I really am not.
I'm tired.
It was because it was just like the adventure was done at that point. Now I'm just playing a modified version of my class, leveling in WoW with the XP boost on, and I'm just like, it's just classic WoW again, And I love classic WoW. I think classic WoW. I prefer classic WoW over retail. I just do.
True. Very true.
But I shrug. I'm looking at man. I was excited, and then I saw that, and the excitement gone. Just fucking
washed right out of it.
Gone. And I'm just like, way to go, Blizzard. You fucking did it. Good. You presented a good idea, and then immediately went, just catch up, get to level 60. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
You want to know what killed it for me?
What killed it for you?
Was them basically collapsing our server.
What do you mean?
So the server that we initially played on,
Avalash, yeah.
Yeah. They basically axed that server in season 3 or whatever.
How so? I mean, it's still active. How did they axe it?
They said that they were getting rid of it.
Oh, nope, still there. Unless they combined it with another server.
Did you have all of your old characters on it still?
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, when they said they were basically getting rid of the server, I was there's no reason for me to fucking keep playing then.
Yeah. I would assume they would have moved you to another server. They've never deleted characters before. Bear's sitting there analyzing it like...
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it doesn't fucking matter. But I do. I think Season Discovery was a really good idea. I would love for them to do something like that again, but because it was such a fun idea. I think I personally think Season Discovery went on for way too long. I don't, the fact that they were like, I do. And here's why. When it came out, it was like mid or end of expansion. So it was something that you could do. Now there's a new expansion coming out. There's new patches coming out for those expansions all the time. They're cannibalizing their audience, essentially. So I think Season Discovery, and also, just from what I understand, the servers are empty. No one's really playing. Everyone's either at the end level doing their shit, but no one's really doing it anymore. No one's really playing on those servers. So I think it should have been like a 3 or 4 phase thing. That's what I think, at least. I don't think it should have kept going on, because I think phase 4 is when the 60 cap happened. I think they should have kept raising the cap and then just adjusting the fucking numbers from there, so that you can just keep doing all the other stuff. Yeah, that's what I was hoping they were gonna do, but then it just turned into you're all level 60 again. We're not introducing any new runes. It's all about the tier gear now, and this new tier gear for the new sets, and it's just I think the Karazhan Crypts edition, I think just new spins on the content is what it should have kept going. What was the Blackrock Depth? No. What was the raid at phase 1? You know what I'm talking about?
Wasn't it BWL?
Yeah.
Blackwing Lair?
Yeah. I think it was. I don't remember what the actual, or BRD or phase 1.
Blackrock Depths? The mega dungeon, basically?
It was level 20 or level 25. I think it was. Oh yeah.
Oh, RFD.
Yeah, it was.
Not RFD. Fuck. What the fuck is it?
Black Fathom Depths. Black Fathom Depths. That's what it was.
BFD.
Yeah, BFD. It's brain.
That was also a ton of fun. I fucking love that one.
Dude, I love the idea of converting dungeons to raids. I'm like, that's a new spin. That's a fucking remix. Let's do it. Those things I fucking miss. And they were doing that for a while, and it was really cool. And then now it's just what are we doing now? Well, we got a new dungeon. We're like, that's cool. And Naxxramas. And I'm like, I don't fucking want to do Naxxramas. I've done Naxxramas to fucking death. Why am I doing it again? It's like, who fucking cares? So it is. I think what's happening is Season Discovery's kind of lost their wind. You know what I mean? And so now they're not really going for it anymore. They're just like, we got a new dungeon and we're just adding some shit. I don't know. Guys, we're wrapping up. We're almost done here. Yeah, here you go. Next round, let's have fun. So it's a bit of a bummer. Now, and I'm sure Blizzard won't appreciate me saying this, but I don't fucking care because I ain't getting paid by them. Ascension. Wow. Whenever I want a classic experience, Ascension. Ooh boy. That. I don't know why Ascension hasn't shut down. I would love to stream Ascension. Ascension.
Oh,
yes,
that's the private server.
Yeah, but it's like a massively sized private server.
Correct.
That's always filled with people because they're always adding cool new things. There's different servers. There's the
Discord for.
I'm sorry?
I'm an Epsilon. Epsilon's the other one that I was in.
Yeah, Ascension. I fucking love Ascension. So right now they've got I want to say 2 or 3 servers. The cool servers they have a classless server where essentially you pick your abilities, you build your own class, and it's all the abilities, and then some. So you could just make your own class, which is really fucking sick. They have the wildcard server, which is my fucking favorite, where essentially you get to roll for random abilities and then build a class based off of the abilities that you get. And then you get a scroll so you can re-roll those abilities. So if you're getting abilities or talents that you don't want, you can kind of like re-roll through that and create your own shit. And they have a thing called the Mana Storm, which is so fucking cool, where essentially you get teleported into a random part of a dungeon. And it's like, it's right near a boss. And so you have to go, you wipe some enemies out, you kill the boss, and then you get teleported to another random part of the dungeon. Meanwhile, everything is leveling with you. So if you want to like if you're level 50 and you want to level in Thunder Bluff, you can do that because everything scales up. So you'll be facing level 50 like plane striders and shit like that. In addition, the levels as you ascend down as you ascend through the Mana Storm kind of add modifiers and make enemies even more powerful. So you're getting more experience and more loot every time you go deeper into the Mana Storm. And you're getting currency. It's so much fun. And what's really cool with the Mana Storm in those dungeons is if myself and Masay go in, it scales for a 2-person party. So like, I don't need a full team of people. I could do Mana Storm solo. So that means I'm essentially doing solo dungeons and all of the elites and the bosses will scale down to the number of players that you have. So it's really open in the sense like you can just grab your buddies. You're like, I only got 2 buddies. Let's do Mana Storm. And then you go and do it. So fucking cool. I absolutely adore it. And now they're doing, I don't know if it's come out yet or not because I haven't done Ascension in a while. They're now doing a new server called Conquest of Azeroth. And what that is, it's the same WoW experience, but they have designed brand new classes for Conquest. Like the Necromancer, the Templar, the Barbarian, the Blood Knight, shit that's in WoW lore, and like all sorts of shit. Yeah, it's so fucking cool. Hold on, let me look at this up. Because now that I've been having when I was playing it, I was having a fucking blast with that. That was so cool. I definitely want to check out the new classes. Oh yeah, so here they are. It's so many classes, dude. And they all have their own tiers. So we've got Barbarian, Guardian, Starcaller, Monk. I guess it's their own version of the Monk. Flesh Warden, Pyromancer, Spirit Mage, Stormbringer, Necromancer, Riftblade, Chronomancer, Demon Hunter, their version. The Tinker, that sounds like fun. Ranger, Son of Arugal. You can play as a Son of Arugal.
An actual werewolf.
Yeah, like a class. Witch Hunter, Disciple of Shadra, Wildwalker, Sun Cleric, Cultist, Witch Doctor, and Tidecaller. And it's so I'm just like, and they all look really fucking cool. Like they all look like a ton of fun. Yeah, the Barbarian looked really fucking fun. One of the Barbarian builds, or one of the Barbarian talent tiers they have it has it so that you get a bunch of power if you are below 35% health. Like specifically built for that. So, and there was another class, I think it might have been the cultist. The cultist has an insanity meter, so as you're casting spells, your insanity goes up, and if your insanity hits 100, there's a chance that you just get stunned because you lose control of your character for a little bit. But then there are some talent trees that specifically are like, oh yeah, you want to be insane. You want to go to 100% because then you transform into this creature that does now more shit. And so it's, yeah, it's really fucking cool. So I'm sure there's a legal reason why this server should have been shut down but the fucking Blizzard Pinkerton should have shut this down. I have no idea why it isn't. They're collecting money and everything for this. I have no idea why this server's still up.
Amazing.
None whatsoever. But it's yeah, if you're looking for a new experience, not sponsored. I'd recommend it. Well, actually no, I don't recommend it. Do not do it because you know, there's always that chance that Blizzard's gonna be like, hey, what are you doing? And then they're gonna just lock down your account. So yeah, okay, I'll say it this. Do it at your own risk. Understand the risks. Yeah. Understand the risks. That's what I'm gonna say. That you do it, you understand the risks of doing it, and if your Blizzard account gets fucking shut down, locked out for all of your decades of characters that you've made, do not come crying back to me. Just don't freaking do it. But yeah, if you want to roll the dice, I highly recommend it. It's
if you want to roll the dice.
You want to roll the dice. Speaking of roll the dice, I want to do a new segment today, or try it out, because we do have a D&D audience, a TRPG audience, as us being DMs of our own games. Or I guess you're a GM now because you're Pathfinder.
I still call myself DM. They'll never take that term from me.
Oh my god, yeah. The Crown GM doesn't have that right push.
Correct.
I feel like it doesn't have that. Eventually if we become big enough, we'll ask the audience for their own stories. But I don't know if any of you guys read over on Reddit RPG or D&D horror stories. But I was like, we should read these in the podcast and talk about it since we're both DMs, because there's a lot of interesting things and topics that have come up with these stories. So what I'd like to do, and we may even turn this into a weekly segment, is we're gonna read some of the top stories of the week of what has happened in these stories. And there are some good ones this week. There's some real good ones that I'm just like, I'm reading through and I'm going, and there's actually, yeah. So I will try to provide some warning for you guys when it does come out. And yeah, because some of the topics are going to be a little dicey because humanity sucks sometimes. We'll try and make sure none of the abhorrent stories are out, but you have you have been warned. I'm talking about the fucking story.
Put the abhorrent things in there. People have to know. They have to be warned.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll play. I don't know. Like, I was worried about talking about politics on there, but people seem to enjoy hearing our thoughts and ideas about that and how we feel and being a little more transparent and open about that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll give it a go. We will have the warnings up just because, yeah, some of the topics might be a little dicey. But you know what? You're right. I do feel like we do need to have a conversation about it, especially if our audience encounter situations like this, and kind of give our thoughts about it and what you can do and things like that. And you'll be surprised to know that a lot of these solutions, a lot of these answers, right, is going to be the same most of the time, which is going to be keep lines of communication open. Let people know that if they're feeling uncomfortable with a scenario, that they have the ability to talk to you publicly or privately. Make sure safety tools are in place. Just all these things that you should be doing already. So, and that usually a lot of these things can be avoided if that happens. But yeah. So let's. Oh All right. Well, you know what? Let's start at the deep end. Let's just kind of get into one of the ones where I was like, I don't know if I should read this one, but then I was like, fuck it. I think we should absolutely talk about this one. This one was from RPG Horror Stories. Demonet was the user. And just to give you an idea of what this story is about, the title is, I just walked out of my first game ever. GM narratively forced my character into being a mass shooter.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So,
nice.
Cards on the table might have some dark subject material that's in this one. So let's prepare ourselves, shall we? Been playing Werewolf the Apocalypse for the last few months at a local comic shop. Setting is modern-day Appalachia with cryptids that we are hunting down. The game has been great until tonight. We were investigating a lumber company that has been doing illegal logging and stirring up local monsters on the process. The plan was to kidnap one of the sons of the owner for information. We went to a local bar to meet him as prospective buyers and lured him out onto the patio where we would be away from other people. It turned out he had a bodyguard and things got ugly, and I unloaded an MP40 into his guard. Once again, we lured them outside where we would be alone. This was a major point. We didn't want witnesses. After the fight, the guard is down and we are making our getaway. About 20 minutes after the fight, the GM then informs me that I shot 26 other people with my MP40 and 7 of them died. I was now a mass shooter and had committed the worst shooting in the history of West Virginia. My stomach literally turned. I was stunned. I looked at him and asked point blank if he was really making my character a mass shooter. I explained that the area was clear, that there was no one around. How could I possibly hit 26 innocent people? He said no, the area was very crowded, and there were lots of people eating on the patio. I tried talking to him and explaining that he had never once said anyone was out there with us. The other 3 players were looking as shocked as I felt. I asked him again if he was sticking to this, that I shot 26 innocents and killed 7, and he was adamant. I handed him my character sheet, picked up my dice, phone, and wallet, and walked out and drove home. I know it's just a game, but am I crazy for feeling this was so far out of the line? I've been playing TTRPGs for decades and DMing for decades. I would have never done this to a player, ever. I'm still pissed. So, Crown, you got some thoughts for me on this?
Wow. Okay. Wow.
By the way, this is why I don't play games in hobby shops with random strangers. I don't know what fucking unhinged shit I'm gonna hear out of this.
Okay, that's all right. So obviously, the DM or the story, DM's fine. The storyteller had wanted conflict. They very much wanted some outcome, some negative outcome to come out of this scenario, this moment. I will say, if there was ever a game that I expected there to be mass shootings in, it'd probably be VTM. Just because you can super easily lose control of your character.
Is Werewolf the Apocalypse the same as VTM?
It's I believe it's all part of the same system, not system,
right.
Setting.
Right.
I definitely think that the DM should definitely should have been like, hey, you're not alone here.
Oh yeah.
If you kill this fucking guy, you run the risk of potentially hurting a lot of people.
Yeah.
For the DM to just go, you're a killer now. Out of nowhere, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if you were like, if you told me as Delwyn, my spirit guardians killed 20 people while I'm fighting vampires. I'm gonna be like, when did that happen? Huh?
You were fighting the vampire, and unfortunately, your spirit guardians murdered 26 Valakians.
Went on a tear while you weren't paying attention. I'd be like, no, the fuck they didn't.
Oh my God. Yeah. 100%. 100% that. I think the DM should have said something. I think I think here's the thing. There are definitely going to be times where you forget to present a piece of information. From the DM's point of view, and I'm not defending this guy, from a DM's point of view, there's a lot of things that you're going to keep track of, and there's sometimes a thing is going to happen, and a player's going to go, wait a second, is that how we're doing this? Because if I knew that, this is what I would have done. And that's happened to me before. Fucking Curse of Strahd, Whoops is like, I want to light these boxes like this. And I go, okay. It's gonna, and then I said, all right, if you do this, it's going to take an action to essentially pour this lacquer on each box. It's going to take an action, and then to light it up, it's an action. And he was like, oh shit, really? Like if I'm not going to do that then if that's what it takes. And then we came to the conclusion of like, if you want this all in one blow, cover everything in lacquer, put a line all the way to the back, and then light, and then just watch the thing just instantly go in there. And we talked about it, you know, as a bad DM, and it's a bad, and we're gonna call it a bad moment. Would have been, well, you said you did it, so this is what we're doing. Like, even though they weren't aware of the action economy as part of that. But this is like so far out of left field where it's just like 100%. Like, oh yeah, you murdered everyone, and you're just like, what the fuck? I would not have done that if I would have easily saw these people sitting in the patio while we were fighting this guy, right?
As I pull out my MP40, I look to the crowded patio.
Yeah, yeah. And to have and I understand that there is sort of like this ego hit that you take when a player's like, wait a minute, like, hold up, rewind. I would not have done that if I was aware of what the scene actually was. And to have a DM be adamant and stubborn, be like, it already happened, it's done. You're a killer, Harry. You know, is such a, like, to me, that screams that the DM is taking an ego hit and is putting their foot down as a DM for the wrong instance. And as a DM, there are times where you do have to put your foot down. This isn't one of them. This right here,
Not, you go challenge me as a DM?
Yeah.
I hate you.
Not one of them. Yeah, especially. Also, I hope there was some fucking warning before going into the system where it's like, hey, so you're dealing with guns, you're dealing with people, there's going to be some, you know, fucking violent scenes and potentially fucking mass shooting potentials if combat goes awry. Like, I hope there was a conversation. It feels like there wasn't. It feels like there definitely wasn't. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, just definitely keep that in mind. Fucking moving forward. You know what I mean? Is just keep lines of communication open. Listen to your players when they're like, I'm not okay with this.
I'm not a mass shooter, DM,
yeah,
please.
Like, yeah, I would not have done this. Because also another thing I feel like, when I first read this story, I was reading it through really fast, but I thought like they had transformed into a werewolf or they had lost control, and then when they got out of it, they murdered all these people. And like, even that was like, maybe that's something we should definitely talk about. But no, it was just literally like, we did the fight, we're giving ourselves high fives, and the DM goes, and now you did a mass shooting in West Virginia, and it's the biggest mass shooting in the world. You're like, what? How? You shot 26 people. DM, I was facing 2 guards. Like, well, the people on the patio. What? People on the patio? Yeah, it's insane. Insane. Fucking ridiculous. So, anything else you want to add to that story? I think we pretty much covered everything on that part.
Side tangent.
Yes.
Little side tangent.
Please.
Have you checked your highlights?
What do you mean?
Highlight storage?
Oh my god, the Twitch highlight thing.
Yeah. Totally tangential real quick.
Please.
I just looked at my highlight total out of 100. Would you like to take a guess at how much it is?
So, before we get into that, for those that don't know, and you know what? I totally forgot about this because this doesn't affect me whatsoever. Twitch a couple of days ago announced, let's see if I can find the article, or is it Twitch support?
I got it from the partner Discord, so.
Oh, no, yeah, this one, there was actually a post. Yeah, here it is. They were saying, we're implementing a 100-hour... So this was announced 2 days ago. Twitch is now implementing a 100-hour storage limit for highlights and uploads starting April 19th. This won't apply to past broadcasts, VODs, or clips. They followed it up with less than 0.5% of streamers exceed 100 hours, and this content accounts for less than 0.1% of hours watched. Users will be notified. Meanwhile, I have seen so many posts from a lot of people that I know with hundreds, if not thousands of hours that they currently have stored. So that number is bullshit. For you,
take a guess.
You upload your highlights of your episodes, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you upload highlights of all of your VODs?
Yep.
Oh no. Oh no. All right, I'm gonna be... This is probably too much. How long have you been streaming for now?
I just had my 3rd year anniversary, and I just had my 1-year partner anniversary.
I'm gonna say you have. Shit. No, that's too low. Is that too low? I'm gonna say 1,800 hours.
Ooh, close.
How many?
1,500.
Oh, so fucking close. I was almost there.
I think it's like 1,562.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, 1,596 out of 100. Storage full. You cannot create highlights.
You uploaded all that to your YouTube channel, though, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's so. I'm kind of patting myself on the back because I never thought I was never interested in highlights on my channel. It didn't seem like there was a benefit to it. I was like, if you want video editing or if you want videos, go to YouTube. Don't watch videos on Twitch. That was always my thing, right? So, and I understand, and I respect the streamers who are like, well, we have highlights there so that people who don't want to go on YouTube can stay on Twitch. I was like, just go to YouTube. Like, you want to watch videos? Go to YouTube. Like, you can go to another site. It's literally the video site. That was always my thoughts, right? So, I only have 88 hours. Like,
only 88? Oh my god.
I didn't make a lot of highlights. Even that seems like a surprising large number for me. Because I didn't think I created a lot of videos. I genuinely didn't. I don't think I created a lot of uploads or highlights. Oh yeah, all the highlights I created are unpublished anyways, so they're gonna be deleted. So,
you are not the 0.5%. You are
I guess I'm not.
98.5 or whatever it is.
So what's interesting about that, and I actually said this, you know, tinfoil hat. I got a lot of tinfoil hat theories. Is that, to me personally, I'm concerned for Twitch's future. They increased sub prices last year for like all the big countries. And now they're doing this sort of like dramatic video storage.
Oh, dude, they are bleeding money. Yeah. They are bleeding money.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure they're, you know, Twitch has never made a profit, but now I think they're hemorrhaging money. My concern is not that they're going to be like, Twitch shut down, oh, sad. No, they're going to keep Twitch running because they got Amazon behind them. They're not really going to work. Amazon doesn't fucking care. Not losing Amazon anything. It's who cares, right? What I'm afraid is going to happen is that another streaming company, let's say one that's had a vendetta against Twitch since its fucking inception, since its very creation, is going to come into Amazon and make an offer. And Amazon's going to be like, that's a pretty good offer. Yeah, here you go. You now have Twitch. They'll strip it for parts, and then they'll shut it down. I think I think there's a distinct possibility that Kick is going to do an Elon Musk and just purchase out Twitch. And then they're gonna take what they need from that, convert everyone to Kick accounts, and then there's gonna be a mass exodus. People are like, fuck that. I don't want to be on Kick. I'm saying by myself, I don't want to be on Kick. So, to any streamer who's watching this, start considering multi-streaming on your YouTube channel. I love YouTube. Streaming on YouTube's fine as well. But YouTube's just been great, you know, as far as like a revenue gain, way to grow your audience. You cannot grow an audience on Twitch. The only way you can grow an audience on Twitch is if you network.
If you know people.
You gotta know people, you gotta knock on doors, you gotta, you know, make friends. And I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm done networking. Like, I don't want to network anymore. Like, I don't want to go out and make an effort. You know, if meeting people happens, it's not because I'm actively trying to do it. Does that make sense? Like, I've done that. I've done all that. I don't want to do it anymore. It sucks because it's like, you know, like it's like people are like, well, when are you gonna get some new players? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna ever get new players. I think I've got a player or two that I definitely want to add to my games because just we've been talking. That hasn't been in games yet. But I am not the demographic anymore. The people that I looked up to and were like, God, it'd be really cool if I had in my game. I was able to do that for most of them, which feels good, right? But nowadays you're like, well, who do you want on your games? And I'm just like, I don't know if I have anyone. I don't know who I mean, these were people I looked up to. These were people that I wanted to do shit with. And with D&D and TTRPGs kind of being my strong focus, I kind of felt like that's where I stood out when it came to doing stuff, you know? I think the last big person I got to play a game for, which was awesome, was Lily, was Lily Pichu, which was to me very exciting because I had watched a lot of her content in the early days and before I even did all that shit. So I was honored I had the chance to run a game for her. But like, gun to my head, is there anyone else now that I look up to that I would tap that I have already asked, right? Is there anyone else? Not really. No, I don't know anyone else. I don't know. And that would also involve me having to like be a Twitch watcher again. I'm not a Twitch watcher. I don't watch Twitch.
Ooh, yeah. I kind of watch streams every now and again.
It's background noise. I'll sometimes I'll have a friend stream in the background for like 10 or 20 minutes or whatever, just see what they're up to.
Basically that.
Yeah, while I'm working on something else, or if I'm crashing your stream. That's it. That's pretty much it for me. I think one of my morning rituals now is when I wake up, I'll go into Dodger's stream because she's the only one streaming, and just say good morning to her community and to her. But that's it. I don't really have anyone that I want to tap and be like, oh, I've always wanted to work this. I don't. I genuinely don't. And it kind of startled me because I was racking my head too, because I was like, So if we go to a phase 4, I would love to get 3 groups together. I still think I can get 3 groups together. It's gonna take a little finagling, but I think I can do it. But then I was also like, who do I want to play with that I haven't tapped yet? And I couldn't think of anyone. I went down my Twitter follow list. I went down my Twitch follow list. Maybe I'll check like my old YouTube channel to see who I was subscribed to once upon a time. I couldn't. I'm racking my brain, dude.
You've done it.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's for me, like, I'm just sort of like, okay, Well, so if I want new blood, who should I invite? And I'm just sitting here like, I don't really know anyone else. It's not like I'm a fan of any of the new streamers, and not saying like they're bad or anything. I'm definitely not doing that. But I mean, like, it's a new generation of streamer. It is not my generation of streamer. You know, it's for a complete. It's not for the 40-year-old man. Okay, like, shrug. I don't really have anyone that I want to tap. Also, you know, being in this game for a while, I know too much. That's also a problem, right? Because now, running so many games, it used to be back in the day, I would just grab 5 people, be like, you're now in a game, let's do it. Now, I kind of know how everyone plays games. So, like, I know there are certain people I cannot put with other people because it just wouldn't work, and we wouldn't go anywhere because it would be, it's not that they would hate each other, it'd just be conflicting styles of play.
Oh, yeah, conflicting personalities is a big one.
Yeah.
A huge one.
I know too much. So now I've become extremely picky in how I form groups, and that is a fucking challenge in and of itself. So yeah,
absolutely.
It's
there are people I know that are not team players, like, at all.
Yeah.
Like they very much are like, I need to be the one who does the most damage in the party.
And
then I have friends that are like, I am the party dad. I am always the party dad.
I also have friends and people that I've run games for that I have pretty much been like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to run games for you anymore, you know, specifically because of that. And that's also why whenever I talk to players or whenever I re-interview players for like newer stuff, I'm very upfront and go, when you make a character, you're not making a main character. You're making a party member. The main character is the party. It is not you. So that's my rule. Like, no loners. I don't want you building a fucking loner that's just gonna go off and mope somewhere and just be that, like, whatever. Like, nope, not interested. And no main characters. You have to be part of a party dynamic. If you cannot be part of a party dynamic, you can't be playing D&D because it's a party centric game. I feel
so fucking bad in Curse of Strahd where Dell will just talk and then the rest of the party doesn't say anything, and I just sort of sit around and I go, oh am I hogging all this while I'm sorry, guys? No, like it feels like I just
you're conscientious about it. You know what I mean? Like you've always been conscientious about it. That you want to make sure everyone's kind of got a moment in the spotlight, and if no one's taking it, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna grab the mic for a second. Like, I always try
to be. It's really big with this group as well.
Yeah.
With like Gremmel in them. Like I'm always like, all right, we need Garen, go do the rogue thing, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Be the
Glory,
main
go do the fighter thing. Hey, Gremmel, don't tell them that you love them, but go beat the shit out of that guy, please.
I personally think. I personally think that this next hardcore group's gonna be really fun because we've got we've got Judy, so we've got the staples, right? We've got my staple players,
the OGs.
Yeah, we've got Lobos, who I think is a great player.
Lobos is great.
And we've got Lawman, who's super excited for this and is also a great player and not a spotlight hog, you know. Adds to the role play. Lawman was
Zug, yeah.
Yes. So yeah, Lawman's a great player, and isn't a spotlight hog, and is also someone that can keep the plot moving.
Nice.
Which I know you would appreciate.
I pump my fist into the air. Oh, thank God.
I know that is something that you would appreciate. So, and now I'm just I'm on the fence about the 5th person, so I kind of have to wait and see on that. I'm still brewing on that, but I'll have a decision probably by next week.
Nice.
I think whoever I choose, I think it's between 4 people, One person I asked, they never got back to me, so I'm assuming they're not interested, or they just, they weren't able to get back to me. Either way, it's like I gotta keep moving. One person I know is out of town, so we'll see if they are able to respond back to me at next week. And then 2 other people I think would fit well in the group, but I kind of want to wait and see for these first 2 people. So
that's understandable, honestly.
Yeah, because they were the ones I tapped first. So we'll see. But I think this will be a fun romp, as it were.
What were you planning for did you talk about the new hardcore game yet? I think I saw you were doing a stream.
I did. Rime of the Frost Maiden.
That's what it was. Oh, God. Actual hardcore game, by the way. Built-in hardcore. I think I was talking about that on stream not too long ago. There's
really?
Actually, should I say?
You don't have to say if you don't want to.
Well, it's like one of the random encounters in there is just really fucking funny.
Well, yeah, don't say for people that do want to watch. Yeah, for those that don't know.
There's just an encounter there that you go, what level are we? And they go, we know what level you are. And they go, what level is this thing? It's like about 4 times the level that you are. And you go, am I supposed to fight this? And they sort of nod their head, but also shrug at the same time. And you go,
maybe.
All right, man. Pretty sure I'm level 5.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I definitely want to tap a 5th person. We'll see who it ends up being. And then I gotta get Tomato in a game in the future. I just don't know what yet, because I'm not running as many games as I used to, because I'm old. But
because I'm old.
I am. Well, no, I don't. Honestly, now that I think about it, it's not because I'm old. I think it's because I'm working on 2 books and running games. So like,
I was about to say, I don't think old is really an excuse that you can use. You have no free time.
Well, for me, it's like I used to run like 4 games, like 3 or 4 games a week.
Like a psycho.
Like a psycho. There was one point I was running 5 games. That sucked. That was rough.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, that was rough.
No free time.
That was rough.
Every day was waking up a new game to play.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I was running 4 games, and now I'm running like 2 games. Well, actually, no. That's also a lie, because I'm running 3 games now that I think about it. Wow, nothing's really changed. I'm still fucked. I think that's what it is at the end of the day. I'm running 3 games, and I'm writing 2 books, and I'm doing it all at the same time. Yeah, no, okay. No, I see it now.
So here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Compared to Shadowbringers, or not Shadowbringers, Shadow's Breach.
Yeah.
Compared to Shadow's Breach, how intensive or time demanding is Paw Patrol?
It's not.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, it was never meant to be.
Excellent. Because if it had become that, I'd be like, all right, brother, you need to stop.
No. It genuinely hasn't. Well, I kind of, as weird as it sounds, the last map that the last session that you guys were at in that map, which came out pretty good. I liked how it looked. I think it came out okay. Did you like the map?
Yeah, it's the same style as like the rest of the map, so it all works aesthetically.
Yeah, the fortress I meant. Yeah, did you like that map?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I was just like, I kind of went on autopilot a little bit, and I was just like, let's do this. This part will be here. This part will be here.
Oh, you made it?
Oh yeah, I made it. Yeah.
Oh.
What? You didn't think? What did you think it was like an auto generated
one?
No,
I thought you had a. No, I definitely not assume they used AI. I don't even know if there are AI map makers.
No, you're right. No, or like it was a map that I just like grabbed.
Yeah, I thought you had like gotten one of your artists to make it.
No, I made it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I kind of went on a little. Because it was like it was weird because my style for making that map, I was like, when it comes to map making especially, I have to just do it. I can't overthink it, otherwise I won't do it. So correct. I just kind of went, it sounds artsy fartsy and like being a fucking hippie. But it definitely is sort of that like, let's see where the brush takes me, you know? Like, let's just...
Dude, the amount of maps I have done that way, where I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking put shit on a screen and see what happens. Some of my favorite maps have been that. So
this map, because originally this map was just gonna be a fort in the woods. That was it. It's gonna be a standard, just a fort, little mini dungeon in the woods. And then I finished the fort, and there was like the wooded area in the beginning, where in like with a teleport, and you just kind of like go through the woods a little bit, and then you go to the fort. And then I went, I've done too many like wood beginnings. And then I was like, what if we make it like outside the ruins of a city? I was like, oh my God, the City of Trials, the Fallen City of Trials. Let's fucking... And then from there, it's just like, oh, we're gonna make so many maps in the fucking Fallen City, because this was a massive hunter's metropolis that's now dead. So I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's do that, you know. So it was, and I thought that map came out really well. So yeah, no, it's been good. And also, what's been good about it is building the creatures, you know, and the boss creatures as well, using the Phoenix Forge system. You know, because we built that system, that we have a system in place for that. So yeah, no. It's I'm sure I'm still putting too much work into it than I should be. But also at the same time, I don't want Paw Patrol to feel like a half-assed campaign. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I've been calling it like IO Gaiden, essentially, or Gaiden, because it doesn't have anything to do with the main IO storyline, but it still takes place in the world of IO. So it's still there. Like, it's still built upon that lore, you know. So for me, again, like, it's been fun. We're having fun, but also at the same time, like, I don't want it to feel like a filler campaign. Does that make sense?
I don't think that's a worry, because I mean, the only people who would have that feeling would be viewers, because I can tell you right fucking now, every person playing in Paw Patrol has a fucking time of their life.
Same.
I think you were muted the last time we talked about it, but like Naomi and Bloody both were like, this is the highlight of my week every week.
Oh no, I definitely didn't hear that. People compliment in front of me? That never happens. That doesn't happen. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I very much remember Naomi being like, I dread all my school shit, but then I know that I have Paw Patrol.
Yeah.
And everything's fun.
Yeah. No, I think Paw Patrol's a delight, and it's a nice little palate cleanser from everything else we're doing, you know. So it's nice to play. It's fun. We could let loose. We could have fun with it. There's still a fun narrative. Like I definitely patted myself on the back last session, because Naomi the entire fucking time was just like fucking Red Rod. Like, what the fuck? like she was genuinely surprised. I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Dude, the twist at the end of Paw Patrol, the last episode of Paw Patrol, dude, I was like, no fucking shot.
I was like, so it's a lighthearted campaign. We're having fun. And we can still pull out the twist. That's great. That's great. That's a great campaign to me.
Yes, sir.
So me personally, I hope people are not sleeping on Paw Patrol, because it is very, and that's Paw Patrol. I think is going to be a sleeper hit. I think it's going to be a game that people are going to look into and maybe like toss away at first. But I think especially as the shorts continue to flesh out and keep doing their thing, people will eventually come back to it, and then kind of toss aside that feeling, right, of just being like
100%.
Of just being like, oh, this kind of slaps. Like, this isn't like a rinse and repeat game, you know. This is some good shit, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time. When you guys level up to 5, that's also gonna like kind of change the game narrative a little bit too, because you guys are essentially going to be like pro hunters at that point. So instead of being like, hey, what creature do you want to hunt? It's going to be like, hey, so we got a lot of shit going on right now around the Hunters Guild. What do you want to like investigate? Like what storyline do you want to start going down? You know?
leave the hunts to the new guys.
Yeah.
Because they have to earn their chops.
Yeah.
You guys are now basically in the in group.
Yeah.
You have to start helping us solve actual legitimate problems.
And those hunts will now end up being in like the storyline itself. And which is funny. It's hilarious to me. It's like poetry. It rhymes. This was what happened to Hunters of Io. It was like this sort of like, okay, pick a monster, hunt it. Pick a monster, hunt it. Now fight this big thing. And then a narrative happened. And then Spire of Euclid kind of became this like, all right, you're still in the Hunter's Guild, but now you're doing shit. Like there are narratives that that you can pursue and follow and look into for the good of the guild. So it's funny to me that it's kind of like sort of happening again. Well, because I think at the end of the day, there's only so many episodes you could do where you're like, pick a creature and go hunt it. Okay, that was fun. Bye. You know, like there's only so many times you can do that. It's fun, but then he's like, now I'm interested in the world. Let's flesh the fucking world out some more, you know? So that's definitely what Paw Patrol sort of turned into, which is very exciting for me. And I really
didn't Spire of Euclid, like the Hunters of Io and all that shit, didn't that become like basically where like some of the new gods were founded?
That literally was how Io became a god.
Like a huge developing part of the world was basically like a funny haha game.
Yeah. I mean, that's just
nice.
Sometimes that's just how the story takes place. Yeah, at the end of the day, when it came to the hunters, Io was the only one that was kind of interested in really interested in the tower and what its function was, because it was essentially a tower that created creatures. And that was the, you know, sorry for spoilers on a 2, 3, 4-year-old game. But you know, essentially when they finally got to the Spire, it was one of these ships, one of these spaceships, of the Auroran Federation, who essentially colonized Io after the original civilization got wiped out by Cosma. The few Aurorans survived. They took these super ships, each with a different function, to essentially recolonize, but essentially like reformat a planet, I guess is the best way to describe it. And the Spire of Euclid was part of a ship that created creatures. It was able to create new creatures that they were going to use to populate the planet. Because there was also another thing where they wanted this civilization to go through the same trials and tribulations that their civilization went through, so that essentially their civilization becomes another them, allowing them to continue the lineage, essentially. And the Auroran civilization is based off of Earth. It's based off of us. It is us. Like the Auroran civilization came from Earth. That ended up being fucking destroyed. And then so what would we do in that situation? We would go get off the planet, let's find another one, which is of course what we'd fucking do. And then we'd populate a planet that fit everything we needed. Oh, but there's like these, you know, these natives down there. Fuck them. Like that's what we would do, because that's what we've always done. Anyways. Sorry, guys. Your IO game is a narrative about the effects of colonialism and occupation.
Nice.
But yeah, so Spire of Euclid was essentially meant for creature creation, and it was a biological research facility. And the whole spin on Hunters of Io and Spire of Euclid was that the leader, and we've told this story a couple of times, the Hunters Guild was secretly being commanded by a shadow demon, who essentially was a gluttonous demon that managed to link into the Spire of Euclid. Not well, though, and used the Spire of Euclid to create these giant fucking monstrosities that he would then go let the Hunters Guild know that, hey, a so-and-so has been spotted. Go ahead and kill it. And he was known as the Gormon King. And the whole purpose of his thing was that, like, he formed the Hunters Guild because he wanted to eat creatures. He wanted to, he wanted to experience the culinary world of Atropa. But the side of that was he was the one that was just pressing random on the creature creation button in Spire of Euclid, and then was sending hunters out who were dying to kill these creatures so that he could taste new shit without putting any of the work in, because he's a giant glutton.
God, so based, honestly. What a guy.
He just loved burgers. So he's like, I could just be a burger. And then so when he was killed, Spire of Euclid was unoccupied. Io went back because she was interested in nature and research. And she essentially became the guardian of the Spire. I let Bobo know at that point. Okay, well, by doing this, and because of its link to the Dietic Veil, you are essentially, if you're staying here to do all this stuff, you're essentially going to become a god. Because you will go into the Dietic Veil, and Hio will be, and it was like, so be it. And it was done. It was fucking done. And that's what, so the 4 gods of Io is Hio, who had a link to the Dietic Veil through the Spire of Euclid, and essentially transformed into a god while she was creating and researching nature and creatures, and bringing essentially the next evolution of monsters and creatures and nature to Io. Whoops and Summer's character, Sachi and Lisk, essentially wanted to bring the gods back because the gods were murdered 1,000 years ago, were killed 1,000 years ago, and because of that, everyone lost the ability of like resurrection and other powerful spells. So Whoops is like, let's bring that back. And then they went on a journey to the mainframe of Atlas, which also had these super powerful machines, and transformed themselves into Div and Void, the new god of light and god of darkness. And then Gerard, who played Leighton, entered the city of Krakesk because he was actually a spirit of a artifact. The artifact was a sentient artifact and essentially created someone to wield it, and that's who Leighton was. So because he was already not an existing individual, but powerful enough to become that, he entered the city of the dead of Krakesk and crossed to the other side. The other side being the Dietic Veil, and became death. So he's the god of death. He ferries the souls because
that's right. Because respect the Reaper.
Yeah, because the artifact that he had was all about soul collecting, and he wanted to ferry the souls, and he had no idea why he wanted to do this. And that's because it's the artifact's purpose. It's literally like the sword of death, essentially. And he was able to like harvest souls, and so he became death. He that was also after Asmodia got wiped out. There were a civilization had been killed because of Asmodeus and what happened to Asmodia, and because of that, there were just spirits that were lost and wandering and no way to go. So he ferried the souls. He literally ferried the entire population of Asmodia to the other side, and because of that became death. Anyways, I went on a fucking long tangent. It's just such a cool, I love my players.
Hell yeah, brother.
I love the players and the stories and narratives they write. So that's why I'm just so excited back in the Tropo. So yeah, it was very good shit. So I'm looking forward to it. Well,
when's the
Shadow's Reach?
No, I pushed that out of the way.
Oh, okay.
When do I get to fight the Reaper?
The actual fucking Reaper?
Yeah. I want to hit him with the Castlevania moment where he goes to swing the death sword at me and I fucking dodge it.
No,
and then I battle him to the death.
No comment at this time.
And then I become the Reaper. Whoa!
Whoa! That would be Shadow's Breach. You gotta play Shadow's Breach.
I go down, I explode Asmodeus, and I go, give me back my land, pussy. And then at the end, I realize I can never go back.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Trauma. Yeah, it's Asmodeus now just revealed to a player. He essentially is in a Lich King situation.
Oh.
One must always occupy the throne of shadow.
I'll take that burden as I crack my knuckles. I'll beat the shit out of you first.
Holy
People don't think that Marius, at the drop of a hat, wouldn't just be like, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
100%.
What do you mean?
Not only can I do it better than you, I could probably even rule this shit better than you.
You have played so many self-sacrificing characters. It's not a surprise to anyone anymore. What are you talking about?
It's not. It's not.
You're like, no one will believe it. But Marius will sacrifice his life if it means saving his friends. And I'm like,
Veldrin fights a white dragon, as Lady Onwin fights the shambling mound.
No way.
As D fights the dog.
It's like, no one's going to see this coming, dude.
No, it's like completely, like, it's going to be so surprising. People are going to be floored. They're going to be like, oh my God, Marius did that? What about cheats?
There's something I do want to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
This is, I don't know what you're going to think about this when I tell it to you. Do you remember in season 1 when you were facing off against the hunter team that lost their minds?
Yeah.
I didn't know how that fight was going to end. And so I did have a contingency that Marius was going to die in that fight.
Huh?
I 100% had a contingency for Marius because I thought there was a chance that a player might die at the end of this. I think it was after the first part of the fight, and then we were between sessions. And I said, if anyone was going to die, it was going to be Marius because he would have sacrificed himself for someone else.
100%.
And I
was he'd have pushed the party out of the way type shit.
I was going to essentially bring you back as a revenant.
Oh. Oh. Why didn't I die?
I know. I was like, I don't know.
Why didn't I die? That'd have been fucking awesome.
No, I think I created like a token and everything. Just in case, like, you became a Revenant.
Oh, dude, Revenant Marius? Holy fuck!
I think
it'd be a very different game right now. It'd be a very different Marius.
That's the beauty of D&D is that it absolutely would have been a different game. Marius would have done different shit. Absolutely. There was what cracked me up is you guys are dealing with Cosma Tara now, breaching that. The reason why you guys have had to deal with that is because Curious Curios went to the Shadow Vale, and they saw a vampire, a bunch of gargoyles, and Cosma Tara heading off to what appeared to be a breach, like way off into the distance.
Yeah. And they said,
They went, nope, not our battle. We're gonna go in the opposite direction. And I went, understood. And since no one fucking stopped it, I was like,
crazy.
Now the next wall, the Shadows Breach, which is where it would have gone. So yeah.
I can't believe Curious Curios basically condemned the rest of the world. That's actually crazy.
They were furry little guys. They were just.
That's actually crazy. I know one of them was a fucking paladin. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way the paladin looked at that and went,
He was going.
I could let that slide.
He was going through his own shit. He was going through. Yeah, I wasn't like a paladin like how you look at as a paladin. It was like a nature paladin.
That's even worse. You're an oath. Let me guess. He was an Oath of the Ancients paladin.
I believe so.
Oath of the Ancients paladin.
He was a custom one. It was Oath of the. It was the Oath of the Martyr.
What? Even worse. Never trust a fucking Rackling, apparently. Never trust a fucking Rackling.
Yeah, they just arrived at the Shadow Vale. They just talked with Mephistopheles. And they found out that the Shadow Vale had essentially become this, like, just surviving civilization. Because Asmodeus was gone. So like, all the Devil Lords essentially were handling their civilization in the direction that they wanted to do, essentially. So Mephistopheles was all about art and food, and he had an arena, and he was very noble. Like, he liked collecting things, and that's because his human counterpart, before he became a Devil Lord, went by the name Mr. Mephisto. And then when Asmodeus was formed, because Mr. Mephisto, it was a whole chain of events. Mr. Mephisto was hired by the Demetrius Asmodea to get the ruby-eyed scepter. This ruby-eyed scepter. So he tasked the adventuring party that Sachi was in, that Whoops was in, to go get it. To fucking collect it. He brings it back. They get it. He gets it back. He delivers it to Demetrius Asmodea, who then uses that rod as the ritual that sacrificed everyone in Asmodea to bring out the Deep One. And then the Deep One and Demetrius Asmodea became one, which was Asmodeus with his ruby-eyed staff. And yeah, it's like a whole chain of things.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Mr. Mephisto, who delivered the artifact, as his reward, Asmodeus, forced upon him the rank of Devil Lord, and became one of the Devil Lords. And then was cast out after the Shadow Wars, was cast back into the Shadow Vale, made a fucking palace of it. Yeah, that's what the Curious Curios party meant.
I'm starting to understand why a lot of trauma surrounded. What was the character's name? Tonto or?
Tontu.
Tontu. I'm starting to understand why a lot of trauma was surrounding Tontu because they fucking deserved it. Is what I'm hearing. Is they fucking Oath of the Martyr my ass.
Nope.
All the bad things that happened in your life are your fault.
That party went, nope, that is not our fight. Onward. Onward in this direction.
Despicable. You deserve all the wrong things that happened to you. Despicable.
So yeah, because of that, now there is a space baby in Asmodea.
Marius better never find that out. Marius better never find that out, that there was some fucking paladin out there shirking his responsibility. It's on site. It's a lightning bolt, motherfucker. Fireball.
Oh, geez.
What's up?
Oh my god. So yeah. Let's go ahead and stop there, because we went pretty long today.
I look back. I've derailed the conversation for 45 minutes.
No,
Whoops.
not you. That is the cast. It's literally us just derailing. We only choose these topics out when there's something we're not talking about right now. There was shit to talk about, so we got through one story, and that's fine. And you know what? We're gonna do a second one, but we're gonna do that in the post podcast, the after show. So. Once again, and let me go ahead and document this. Join our Patreon. You can join to get MP3s and RSS feed of our podcast with no background music, none of these sales pitches to join the Patreon, or if we do ever get sponsorships or ad money, you don't have to worry about it. Completely ad free. If you toss in a little bit more, you'll get access to our after show podcast where we go ahead and talk and do all this shit. And then soon we'll be doing gameplay together that will be exclusive to the Patreon. And then we also have a special tier for a private AMA where you have the ability to ask us anything. We'll also give you a special shout out in any way that you'd like after the show. So yeah, please join our Patreon and also subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/@dumpsterdelvers. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Go ahead and watch our VODs as well as our recording sessions. Go up there. And yeah, we're currently trying to get monetization on the channel. So subscribing as well as watching our stuff over there instead of watching it on Twitch will definitely help us out. So thank you again for watching. Yeah. And Crown, this has been a lovely time.
Yes, sir.
And then we will see you all the next time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.